Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 here on our 2021 Mazda CX-5. So this is going to be a very nice way of getting your bikes to your destination. Now, obviously, Kuat, always concerned about that style. We do have it here in the gunmetal gray. And you guys can see we have some nice copper orange accents throughout it. If you're not quite liking the color, it does come in pearl and black as well, so you guys can go ahead and start matching it to your own color scheme at home. But it doesn't just stop at looks. This guy is going to be excellent to go ahead and hold on to your bikes no matter what you throw at it. With a 40-pound capacity limit per bike as well, you're going to have an A-OK time getting your bikes on here. Now, why I say that? Because we do have our front tire hold. That becomes excellent for things like our carbon frame bike, as you guys can see. So since we don't have any frame contact, we can go ahead and hold on our carbon frame bikes, and this makes it really easy to throw on women's bikes, kids bikes, step through bikes, as we don't have to worry about any of those irregular frames and clamping onto them. All we have to do, make sure we have one good wheel, and we're ready to go. Now the ratchet arm system works really good. All you have to do, push that down on that wheel, not going to be popping out, unless of course I press on that lever, which makes it really easy, cinch it down, and have it nice and secure for yourself. At the front here, you are seeing a nice little front tire hold as well. And I really do like how that works because we do have kind of a shorter track, as you guys can see. So even if your bike started to hang off a little bit, this guy's pretty level, which is great. You actually do have that nice little backing to make sure it's not going to be rolling off no matter what happens. So, and of course, with that strap in place on the other side, you're going to have an A-OK time. One thing I like too, our locking core is right here on the end of our platform. That becomes excellent to take our included cable lock, run it through both frames of our bike, plug it right back in, and that way everything's nice and secure when we leave it unattended. On their rear wheel, you also are having this nice oscillating cradle. That becomes excellent to go ahead and, like I said, account for those longer wheelbases or even those shorter ones if you need to. You do have that nice 18C standard groove in the middle. Now, the one thing I'll say to it, not really going to be situated for your bigger bikes, right? Already our straps aren't that long, and secondly, we do have somewhat of a small platform here for your wheelbases. So that's going to be the one caveat I'll have with it. If you're looking for something to A, increase that wheelbase, or B, get to a higher weight capacity, you could look at the Kuat NV 2.0 or the Kuat NV base. Those guys are going to give you pretty much a lot of the same features you're going to see on here, but with just a little bit more extra width and 20 more pounds of capacity per bike, which is excellent. So one thing I love about the Sherpa is that it can actually tilt away. So to do that, all I have to do, leave my bikes on here, sneak my hand in here, press that lever, and then drop it down. And that's going to let me get access here to the back of my hatch. So all I have to do, hit that on my Mazda CX-5, open that up. Now I have access to this coolers, bike helmets, anything else I might need. You do have a little room here to kind of get between your bike rack and your CX-5. You can go ahead and change your shoes too if you want, something like that. But really nice that we have that full access, which is great. To walk it up, nothing really to it. I just simply walk it. It's going to click in place, and we're nice and secure for ourselves. So that's really cool. Well, it's really not going to take us too much time to get the bike off. Before we do, let's take a look and see how it's interacting here with our Mazda. So if you guys did have maybe bigger, slightly longer tires here, you might start interacting with these taillights. But because we have so much distance here, I think we're going to have really good admittance. Nobody's going to have any trouble seeing that we want to stop. The only thing to keep in mind, you do have an offset backup camera here. Now, as you start loading two bikes on here, you're going to have to look between those frames to actually see anything. So do keep in mind, it's going to impact that visibility just a little bit, but that's going to happen with almost any bike rack you throw in the back of your vehicle. Well, to get my bike off, I'm just simply going to press here on my strip. That's going to let my strap come off just like that. And we do have a nice little rubber matting on the inside to protect those wheel rims, which becomes really great. And at the top here, all I have to do, press in this button. That's going to let me get this arm up and out of the way so I can go ahead and dismount my bike. So that becomes really easy to do. And after that, we are all ready to ride. Mounting it becomes just as easy. The one thing I'll say to it, you guys can see the strap likes to hang out right here. Really easy to dip that rear wheel though and pick it up, set it in place, and that way you can go ahead and secure it down for yourself. Holding up that front cradle becomes real easy too, as well as bringing in our arm. So we can go ahead and start condensing it down. Now, a couple dimensions we want to keep in mind here. We do have just a little bit of clearance that we always want to watch, and of course how much length we're adding to our vehicle. So from the rear here, from the ground to the very end of our carrier, That's going to put us right at 19, and it looks to be about 1/4 of an inch there for ourselves. So not going to be too bad. Actually, let me go ahead. Yep, just want to double check myself there. So that's not terrible, about 20 inches or so. As long as we're not experiencing really steep terrain, I think we're going to be A-okay with that. Just keep in mind, as those front wheels go up, the back will go down. So we are rear mounted accessories. Now we can go ahead and actually give ourselves the length from our bumper here today and see how much we're working with. So from the rear of the bumper to the very end of our carrier is going to put you right under 33 inches. So really not too bad for a 2-bike platform rack, and we actually can go ahead and shorten it down. To do that, I'm going to come right back to that lever, and instead of tilting down, I'm going to tilt it right up into this position. That's going to be nice and secure. Little to no movement at all in this position, which is great. You're not going to be hearing it or feeling it in this position. And one thing that some people get concerned about is these arms kind of getting out and hitting your vehicle. It has a lot of resistance. That takes me actually hitting the end of this arm to move it. And again, like you saw, there's almost no road shake, and it is rubber coated as well. So we're going to have no issues there, which is great. And we're really not too close to our Mazda here, but let's just give ourselves a quick little look. That's only going to be putting you right about 4 1/4 inches from that bumper, which really isn't too bad. Like how we're staying nice and tight without having any kind of interaction. Moving our way down, though, we can see we do have a 2-inch shank here today, allowing us to utilize our 2-inch hitch receiver. On the inside of that, you're just going to have a little alignment pin with a locking core on it, which will be key to your locking core on your platform to hold into your cable lock, which is great. Now, where the real work is being done is in this little guy right here. This knob is our anti-rattle device. All we have to do, tighten that up, make sure it's nice and aligned, and what's it doing is we have a cam on the inside of our shank, and it's pushing up against our receiver, pinning it in line, and taking all that shake and play out. So as I move this guy, it's actually moving the entirety of our Mazda, which is great. That means all that shake and play is out, making for a nicer, smoother ride for us, our bike rack, and especially our bikes. You do have a nice little insert there too for the included wrench tool to go ahead and really tighten it down, and that way if you guys are having those big long road trips, you go ahead, make sure it's nice and secure. You don't have to check it all the time, which is great. Again, the Sherpa is just an excellent bike rack. There's a reason Kuat is kind of the premier people out there right now for their bike racks. I mean, you got the look, right? But it doesn't stop there. Like I said, you have the capability, you have all the great features. What else can you really ask from a bike rack? I guess the only thing for me would maybe be about 20 more pounds of capacity. And again, we have the Kuat MV to go ahead and look towards if we're liking what we see here today. But guys, I think this is just a great way of just getting your bikes to your destination with no trouble. I like how it's interacting here with our taillights without actually hoarding up our window. So we're still going to be able to be safe and get our bikes there in no time. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look here today at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 on our 2021 Mazda CX-5. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.